What's up YouTube? Welcome to today's review about the Krups Nescafe Dolce Gusto Infinissima. There are two versions of this coffee machine. One that stops automatically, which is the one right here, and there's a cheaper version that continues unless you stop it manually. Over here we got the water tank that holds 1.2 liter of water. And there are many different versions of the Krups Dolce Gusto. I went with this one since it stops automatically when your coffee is done, which I will show you in a minute. This coffee machine is warm in roughly 40 seconds and serves both cold and hot coffees. And there are dozens of different coffees to try. The little translucent cup holder can be used later for cleaning purposes, so store this in a good and safe space. The platter where your mug stands on can be placed in 3 different heights, so that even your largest and smallest cup can be filled with delicious coffee. By simply twisting and clicking you can set the height. On the left side we have the power button. The coffee cup fits perfectly in the cup holder, and it is advised to only use Dolce Gusto fitted cups in this device. You put back your cup holder, close the lid and set your amount to minimum or maximum. By choosing left or right you can switch between hot and cold water. And be aware, not all coffees are suited for cold water. Make sure to check the package, otherwise it might get very bitter. Now let's fill the water tank and see how this coffee machine makes me the perfect coffee. I didn't fully fill the coffee water tank, but we can see how much water it drains for one coffee. Turn on the machine, set our height and place our mug and coffee cup. I also recommend to closely follow the guidelines on how much water you should add. Of course you can experiment a little bit with adding or removing one line of water, but it can drastically change the flavor and bitterness of your coffee. So be careful. There are also coffee cups that come in pairs to add milk to your coffee. Since there is no milk foamer, we need the machine to do this for us. And to be honest, it's a pretty good result. In the meantime, we see that our coffee machine power indicator has changed from red to a green light, indicating it's good to go. We can easily increase or decrease the amount of water with the touchscreen. There's a little bit of noise coming from this machine. But most coffee machines in this price range have a similar noise level. So for me it's not a blocker. But if you want a more silent coffee machine, please look for other options. And this is just an average lungo. Nothing special. It's literally done in seconds and ready to be served. When your coffee is ready, there are still some drops coming out of the machine, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but something to keep in mind. The mug holder will catch these and you should empty this at least once a week to keep things clean, but preferably a few times a week if you drink a coffee on a daily basis. When your coffee is done, you can go for another round. This machine only needs a few seconds to be ready, but as soon as the green light is there, it's good to go. You need manually to turn off the device, or it will do it for you after 5 minutes when it's not used. And when you're done, always remove the cup, otherwise it might get stuck in the machine. Also clean the cup holder every time you use it. Now let's move on to our next coffee, which is a 2-stage coffee from Starbucks. First we do the milk, and our second round will be the coffee. Make sure to set the water to the right amount. And for both we use hot water. If you use cold water for the milk foam, it doesn't come out really great. Also make sure that your mug has the right fit for your coffee. Now let's add our coffee, which is only a little bit in this case. And after a few seconds we got ourselves a perfect Starbucks caramel macchiato. And when you turn off the machine and remove the cup holder, the machine automatically goes on again. So please keep this in mind and turn off again. And as said a second ago, always clean your device afterwards, especially the cup holder, since foamed milk can easily stay there and after a while gets a bit messy if you don't clean it. Rinse it for a few seconds with water and you're good to go. After 2 coffee and waiting for a few seconds when it was done, we see that there's already quite some coffee residue in the reservoir. So again, as said earlier, clean this at least a few times a week. And this was my full review on the Krups Dolce Gusto Infinissima. A great versatile coffee machine for about €100.